Nico Harrison is a genius. He got rid of Luka Doncic because you can't win with that guy. He doesn't play defense, and he's supposed to be the captain of the ball team, the best player on the team. If the best player is not playing defense, why is anybody else supposed to play defense? Why can't everybody else just be an offense guy and if I give up a basket, not a big deal because my team leader just gave up a basket. The guy who's leading the team and breaking us from the huddle, he just gave up a basket, so it's not a big deal. We can all do that, right? Luka Doncic can't be the head of your program, the head of your organization, because the way that he acts, you can't ever allow the other guys to act. Luka Doncic always wants to be an anomaly. He wants to be an exception to the rule. He wants to be able to do things his own way, aka not play defense, other stuff off of the court apparently as well, and then still get away with it. So when Nico Harrison got rid of Luka Doncic, he was seeing the vision, hey, this organization can't go any further than this kid goes. Luka Doncic, this offseason, Luka Doncic needs to practice defense every single day and not touch the ball for offense. There's nothing that he even needs to work on in terms of basketball from the offensive side of the game when his defense is that bad. He should literally spend 365 days just doing cone drills, working on his agility, playing defense against people, maybe studying defensive film and rotations, but whatever he learned in Europe in the Euro League, it's not the same in the United States. I don't know what he learned. Maybe he just grew up so fast that he never got the fundamentals of the game. But the way that he plays, you can't win championships that way. I guess he's never won a championship before, so Luka wouldn't know that. But he needs to spend the entire offseason just defense and film. He doesn't need to touch the ball for offense. He doesn't need to touch the basketball. He can go to the gym every single day with no basketball. And that would be better for Luka Doncic than if he put in a million hours of offensive game. JJ Redick is the worst coach in the NBA by a literal mile. You have to understand, JJ Redick has never coached any basketball team before. He's never coached a middle school team, a high school team, a college team. He's never coached any basketball team before. But the only reason that he's the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the biggest basketball organizations in the entire world, is because he went on LeBron James' TV show and they talked X and O's for what, an hour? And then that gets you to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. He was never prepared for this job. In the regular season, the guys are just running around playing. It's easy to look like a great coach then. I could look like a great coach then, just letting LeBron James play basketball. As soon as the playoffs started and it was time for JJ to actually coach, game plan internally, and also try to outthink the other coach, he was incapable of doing that because he's not ready for this position. I don't know why he thought he could do this, but it's like this is the worst place to start your career because after this, no organization is going to want JJ Redick as a head coach. You went on the biggest stage, you exposed yourself, and you failed. Julius Randle as a number two option is not sustainable. Julius Randle is the most one dimensional player that I've ever seen. Ever since college, his bag has been the exact same. He's going to grab the ball, he's going to look at you real hard, and you know he's about to go to the rim. There is a 90% chance that he's going to go left, but he might counter back right with a spin, or he might just go right off the jump and then just try to just bully you, force contact in there and try to get a shot. He literally has a move and a counter, and that's his entire game. The fact that Julius Randle treated the Lakers like that is a crime to whoever was guarding him or trying to guard him. But no other team in the playoffs is going to let Julius Randle get off with that bag. With that being said, that leaves Anthony Edwards on an island as the only scoring threat for the Timberwolves. The Thunder's problem is that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander isn't a star yet. He's an everyday player who right now is succeeding off of the fact that his teammates are really good too. You can't leave his teammates, so Shea gets a lot of ISO situations. The tough part about that is that it is easy to take Shea Gilgeous-Alexander out of a game. If you want to game plan for Shea, you could shut him down. But what you're depending on is the guys behind him to not do great in their role. He has good players. Chet is a good player. I think Lou Dort's one of my favorite players in the league. What those guys cannot do is that they cannot score the entire game. With that being said, if you put the Thunder in a playoff series against a better org than the Grizzlies, they're going to struggle. Because if you force Shea to give that ball up, you just game plan, make Shea give it up at half court. There's nobody else on the Thunder's entire roster who can go get a bucket at will. They have to make 4 or 5 passes in order to get a bucket, which is great basketball. But if you force them to make one guy finish and do it all, they can't do it. The Thunder rely on 9 people to play at least 15 minutes every game. That's not sustainable. In the playoffs, you can't have Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins playing 15 minutes a game. Those guys are non-factors in a playoff series. Once you play a good team that game plans for you a little better than the Grizzlies, they're going to they're going to shut down everybody else on the court and they're going to say, hey, let's make Isaiah Joe beat us. If Isaiah Joe can beat us, we'll go home right now. We'll pack our suitcases, we'll get out of the hotel, we'll go all the way home. The Thunder are ridiculous. You're going to have to cut that lineup down to 7 guys that you can just depend on. And I don't know if they're willing to do that. Can the other guys around the Thunder stay on the court long enough and pick up those minutes? Probably not. That would be 30 additional minutes that you're now going to spread around the team. That changes rotations. That changes how much the guys are playing. They're not used to that. So if they get deep in a series and Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins are on the floor, the Thunder are going to lose every single time. Luguentz Dort is the piece to the Thunder that nobody wants to talk about. He defends his mind off. Luguentz Dort defends the best player on the Thunder every single night. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets all of the credit for scoring, all of the credit for being a star, which we understand. But without Luguentz Dort, there would be no Thunder. There would be no success. There would be no all of this winning. He guards the other team's best player, and he's legitimately one of the best defensive players in the entire league. But you never really hear about him. You hear about Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's like, no, we need to be talking about Lou Dort. Lou Dort is the best player on the Thunder's team. The Nuggets making a run with no coach. That proves that Nikola Jokic is on a completely different planet right now than every other player in the NBA. Jokic has dominated the NBA for the past 5 years. He's been just clearly the best player on the floor at every given point in time. And you can look at him. Jokic has put on like probably 20 pounds already. He's already in his off-season weight. But he's so good that nobody else can stop him. They have no coach, nobody drawing up plays, just an assistant coach who stepped up. And you'll see at timeouts, Jokic will grab the clipboard, he'll draw up plays, get guys open based off of what he's seeing on the floor, and then they'll go out and execute it, and it works every time. Jokic is playing the game as the best player and drawing up the plays. He's the player and the coach. And then they just have other guys doing substitutions. But what he's doing right now is honestly some of his best work yet. If he can even get to the Western Conference Finals, he's the best big man of all time. If Jokic can get to the Western Conference Finals, he's the greatest big man of all time. Jokic is already better than Shaquille O'Neal. He's never played with anybody half of the caliber that Shaq has, yet he's already won 2 titles. He's young in his career. He has plenty of time to play. He can go team up with a big 3, a big 2, whoever he wants to for the rest of his career. And skill-wise, there's no comparison with him and Shaq. Shaq is a little more quote-unquote dominant just in terms of dunking the ball. But I don't know what that counts for. Jokic can score just as much, probably more than Shaq. He's not rocking the rim every time, but he's putting that ball in there. So Jokic is already better than Shaq. He's never played with a Penny Hardaway. Jokic has never played with a Dwayne Wade. Jokic has never played with Kobe Bryant. Jokic has never played with LeBron James. Shaq's legacy is overrated because he's always played with a great guard. Jokic doesn't need that. He doesn't need another top 2 player in the league. If he wanted to go and get that person, he surely could, but he's not going to. If the Nuggets were smart, the Nuggets would sign Giannis and Nikola Jokic, and they would dominate the league for years. Everybody that you put around Jokic right now is a mediocre player. Like they're good-ish, but they're not great. Those are the pieces that you need when you have just Giannis and Jokic on a team. Put 3 other guards out there who can just shoot the lights out. The Nuggets would be literally unstoppable. It would be like the international world team against the rest of the USA. And that would honestly make basketball fun. Just seeing the 2 foreigners play against the USA, probably dominate, but they would put up a shot every single year to be the best team. That's where Giannis needs to go in free agency. He needs to make his way to Denver. Giannis Antetokounmpo is done in Milwaukee. There's absolutely no way that he goes back and plays for that organization when they've handicapped him every single year of his career. He has dominated and probably been the best player in the league in a small market, and they've gotten him no help. The most help that Milwaukee ever got him was Damian Lillard. No offense to Damian Lillard, but he's not ever associated with winning. This guy's just a high point scorer. He's never been on an actual competitive team. So getting him on your team is just like chaos. A guy who's going to take the ball out of Giannis's hands, he's going to shoot a bunch of threes, and he's going to think that he's the man. That's not who the Bucks needed. They never got him another star, so the Bucks fans need to be thankful, but they also need to encourage him to leave. They should say, hey, Giannis, we're going to support you wherever you go, the same way that Cavs fans in Ohio did LeBron James. And wherever Giannis goes, that's my new team because he was so great to us that I'm going to support him in his career wherever he goes. That's what needs to happen here. The Bucks should put him in the best position to go wherever he wants to. All of their fans should support and be thankful, but they should actually give him an opportunity to win rings again. Giannis deserves that because of how great he's been to that city. The Cleveland Cavaliers are far and away the best team in the NBA this year. All season long, they have been dominating other teams because their roster is too stacked. When you draft well and you keep veterans on your team, there's nothing that can be done to stop you. Even when the young guys get going fast, they get downhill. Kevin Love steps up and he says, hey, guys, slow down. I've been here before. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's try to game plan this and let's just take our time with it. Pulls the young guys down. They go out and hoop the lights out. They drafted well. They got an Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley will be remembered. His entire career, after the Cavs win a championship this year, Evan Mobley will be remembered as one of the best power forwards probably of all time. He's always been dominant. You just don't hear about it every day because the Cavs are a small market team. But just wait. Next round in the playoffs, just wait. Watch Evan Mobley and watch the way he dominates the basketball game. That's what makes the Cavs so good. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland at their guard spots. And then down low, they have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen who can just block the sun out if they need to. The Cavs are the best team in the NBA, and they will be for years because their core is young and those guys aren't going anywhere. If the Cavaliers played the Celtics, when the Cavaliers play the Celtics in the playoffs, it will be a 5-game series. The Cavaliers are that dominant this year, and the Celtics are too undependable. They don't have a guy that you can lean on to show up every night. Sometimes it's Jason Tatum, sometimes it's Jaylen Brown, but also when you really need Jason Tatum to show up, that's not who he is. So when he's facing another Goliath of a team in the Cleveland Cavaliers, you can't expect him to go out and outperform Donovan Mitchell. You can't expect him to lock up the other team's best player. You're just going to look at him and say, hey, Jason Tatum, you play your role. Let's hope the other team can do that too, and we'll see what happens. The Cavaliers are different in that aspect where they have a little more star power. Donovan Mitchell, in terms of playing basketball, he has more star power than Jason Tatum does. He can take over a game before Jason Tatum will. That's the difference between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. The Cavs have a better star. Tyrese Halliburton's dad tried to fight Giannis Antetokounmpo after the game. This man is insane. He looks like an old man. He goes chest to chest, forehead to forehead with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And to be honest, he kind of punked him. Giannis was talking to him. They were talking trash. Halliburton's dad was talking right back to Giannis. And after a while, Giannis was the one who backed up. It wasn't Halliburton's dad. Did Giannis get scared of this man? Is Halliburton's dad actually about that? He just called Giannis's bluff on national TV. He said this 6'10" Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't gonna beat me up in front of everybody in the world. So let me just call his bluff. And Giannis fell for it. In Giannis's last game ever as a Milwaukee Buck, the last picture that you see is him getting punked by a 60-year-old man. It's not a good look. It's not a good look.